Welcome back. Joining us on the show is Mr. Atul Chaturvedi. He's Executive Chairman at Shree Renuka Sugars. Mr. Chaturvedi, hi. Thank you so much for joining us. You know, I was reading the latest USDA report and that talks about lower oilseed production for 2022-23. The number that they have put out is 644.4 million tons. How do you look at the downgrade, and is that a matter of concern?
No, in my view, the downgrade of production is only about 1 million ton.
Okay.
And million ton or about 645 million ton crop. It's no big deal.
Okay.
And my take would be this report is largely neutral.
Okay. While we are looking at a higher crop for soybean, the decline clearly seen in case of palm, cottonseed, sunflower, rapeseed, etc. Are you looking at then a price support, a consolidation, or an increase in the coming few months?
In fact, I'm more worried about the numbers which USDA has given for Argentina at around 49 point something million tons. Our information says that Argentina is actually suffering big time from drought. And one should not be surprised if the production falls dramatically. For all you know, some reports are saying that the production might actually fall to about 40 million tons or thereabouts.
Okay.
So that will be a big fall. As far as sunflower is concerned, I'm not too worried because sunflower, in any case, adequate stocks were available in Ukraine because of all the problems in terms of supply chain and disturbance and evacuation. So even a lower crop would not mean the overall availability will be affected because they are carrying a lot of stocks with them. So I don't see too much of a blip side. And secondly, with the petrol and crude oil moving southwards, so the blending might actually be affected a bit as far as palm going into blending and all. So I don't think I would probably call it a neutral report.
All right, got that. So moving on, when you look at the international market, so if the supplies are going to be neutral, as you said, as much as last year, how are you looking at the demand part of it? Because for the month of October, we saw a decline at least coming in from China. The latest data shows that for the month of November as well, the Chinese soybean imports were down 14% year-on-year basis. But when you look at India, the November import shows an increase of nearly 12% on a month-on-month basis at least. How are you looking at the demand numbers stacking up for major consumers?
No, the fact of the matter is that China definitely is struggling because COVID seems to be raising its ugly head as far as China is concerned. As far as India is concerned, October, November, our demand was very strong.
Right.
But come December, we are seeing a demand petering out. In fact, we were expecting that December demand would be very, very robust, which it is not. And it also means that the heavy imports which have happened, and plus coupled with that, we have a reasonably good soya crop and cotton crop has also started hitting the markets. So all these things put together, plus the chances of rapeseed exceeding last year's production, sowing level. So rapeseed is almost 7-8% higher than last year. So all these things are putting a cap on the upside. And demand is not all that strong as far as December is concerned. October, November, it was very strong.
Okay, and I mean, how are you looking at Jan and Feb and etc. going forward? I mean, do you think that the weak demand could be a concern yet again?
Jan, I think, should bounce back.
Okay.
December, generally speaking, is normally a month when demand comes off a bit. January, February, we feel demand should come back and come back with vengeance because there are a lot of marriages both in January and February.
Yet again. All right.
Yeah.
I also want to talk about the prices because when you look at this year in the global markets, while, you know, it is only the soybean prices which show a positive trend up by 18%. Palm oil is down 12% this year. Rapeseed is down 21% this year. Sunflower is down 5.5% as well. I mean, of course, we've seen those highs and a lot of correction come into the markets, still much higher than the pre-COVID levels. But with the kind of price moves that we've seen in this year and the kind of closing that we're giving to this year, how are you looking at the new season, new year starting?
in fact, soybean lost a lot of demand because the price differential with palm had gone up as high as $450 to $500. So, but what was happening was the U.S. biodiesel mandate ensured that a lot of soybean oil got actually diverted into biodiesel big time because the biodiesel guys were making solid money, something like $500 to $600 per ton kind of money.
Okay.
The margins. So that was what was keeping the soybean oil on the boil. But now it has come off quite a bit from the high levels. In fact, the differential between palm and soya has now become much more reasonable, around $250 or thereabouts. So it has come off almost $200.
So with the kind of visibility that you have, if we were to talk about next 3 to 6 months, let's say, what kind of price moves would you expect? Are you looking at higher prices from where we are?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. In fact, I think as far as we are concerned, we've probably seen the worst, and the worst is behind us. In fact, the prices now would probably remain more or less muted.
Okay.
And nowadays, what the price levels in India is reasonable. It's not very high. And at this level, we should have a reasonable demand. And availability and supply is absolutely no issues.
All right.
Because we've imported a hell of a lot of oil as well.
All right. So enough availability and prices are expected to consolidate. So the demand perhaps should be coming back. And as said, while December didn't see much imports of edible oil into India, but Jan and Feb should come back with a vengeance. The kind of weddings and festival season that begins yet again in those couple of months. Thank you so much, Mr. Chaturvedi, for joining us. And with that, it's a wrap on Closing Bell. Thank you so much for tuning in with CNBC TV 18.